We talk about Tame Impala like it's a band, but it's
Mm-hmm.
really not a band. It's one person
Yeah.
by the name of Kevin Parker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was thinking, like, why does he even, like, let that be, like, the perception? Like, that it's a band?
Yeah.
And then I realized a few things. Like, one, it's probably he wants to bring up his boys that he came up with.
Yeah.
To, like, bring them on the road, and they're going around the world together.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, he seems like, he's not a guy that's wants to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So I feel like by going under the Tame Impala name and not just being like, oh, this is music by Kevin Parker, it's
Right.
like it allows him a little more
Anonymity.
What was it?
Anonymity.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can't speak today.
That's definitely true. And then I guess we'll get into like, his school career and his home life a little bit and stuff like that. But judging from the type of person that he's let us understand him to be, that he would rather have some sacred hold on his name and stuff like that. Because there comes a point, like if your name gets big enough, you don't even own your name anymore after a while. So, he probably didn't want that.
Yeah, yeah. But, okay, so let's get into it. We're talking about... honestly, I want to say this is some of the best music that's come out since I've been alive.
It's true. It's true.
I'm just going to say that. And if you want to disagree with it, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. And we're not talking about like, all the stuff that came out before we were born that we know is great. Like, you know what I mean? We're talking about like something that's kind of like, novel to like our generation, our time of music, a type of generation that can easily be looked on by generations before as like not producing much musically, creatively. You know what I'm saying? And I would say that the boomers who were like so great in the 70s and stuff, they could look at this music and be like, yeah, this is some great creativity.
I think so. I think so. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope that and I hope that we could maybe bring Tame Impala to some people that don't know about Tame Impala by doing this. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But let's get into it. So we got to talk about Perth, Australia.
Right. A place I never knew existed. A place I never knew the Tame was from.
I don't know much about Perth, but I know that it's in Australia. And that's all I got.
Yes.
Tell us about Perth, Australia, if you know. Tell us in the comments about how ignorant American we are. How we're a bunch of ignorant Americans.
Yeah.
Is there any countries outside of America?
I thought it was towns only outside of America.
Maybe a few cities?
Yeah. I thought all the countries were in America and then towns were all outside.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's from the town of Australia.
Yep.
No. All right, no. So Kevin Parker, he's from Perth. Again, I don't really know much about Perth. All I know is that he's from there, and he was just always a music person.
Yeah. He ate, breathed, and slept it for the most part. And like, he didn't even like school. He didn't like homework at all. He said he didn't even do homework. And I was kind of questioning, well, how'd you move on? This sounds like social promotion.
Who knows? I mean, the guy's in school, not giving a fuck about school. He's just like, I just want to make music. From he said his dad was a musician. Well, his dad was an accountant, but he was like a closet musician is the way that he said it.
Right.
So he just had instruments all over the place and records all over the place.
Yes. Dad played songs from the Beatles. He played songs from Supertramp a lot too, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right? If you know the band like we know for so well for so many years.
I've been a Supertramp fan since 75.
We're diehards. No, we've come to know them through our channel as well. And it totally makes sense that he picked up his influences from the bands that his dad was interested in, which is like the psychedelic bands, Beatles, and Supertramp. Synth, rock, and psych.
Yeah, and it's funny because apparently like his dad didn't really want him to be a musician.
Yeah.
But not for the reasons that a lot of people would say.
Right. I was thinking it was more like a drug thing or something.
No, it's so funny because people are always like, oh, I don't want my son to be a musician. I want my daughter or my son to be successful. I want them to have money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Which most musicians don't.
It's true.
You know? But that's not the reason that he didn't want Kevin to be a musician.
Correct.
He was just like, this is the thing. Like, once you make music your job, you're not going to love it as much because now it's a job and you have to like, really do it. You know what I mean? It's not just like a fun thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't want his son to like not appreciate music in the same way that they both did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's understandable. And that's so hippie-anonymous for his dad to say it. It's like, dude, come on. You're killing the fun. You want to be a pro?
Yo, why you got to be all corporate? Like, just do it for fun. Nah, but... So, yeah, I respect that because that's not really something that you hear a lot.
No, definitely don't hear a lot. I mean... I could still see it being fun. I mean, you may not want to play it so many times. You may not want to play it 350 days out of the year. But
and you might not want to be on the road all the time.
Right.
Especially if you're someone like Kevin who seems like a bit of a loner for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
But obviously we'll get into that more.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever. Clearly his dad was kind of wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, he still was able to be very successful and still love music,
yeah.
which is the important thing. Mm-hmm. And this guy, I mean... This guy is like a true artist. Yeah. I mean, this guy's not making shit just to like be famous or even to go all these places and play shows. Like he's literally someone, and you can just tell when you listen to it that he's making this music because that's all he knows how to do.
Yeah.
And that's what he loves.
Yeah. It's so interesting. How cool for a musician to make music that touches him or her personally, right? And that's all they can think about and all they want to do. And it's like little by little, you're tapping into yourself and us as well, the listeners. It's just like, oh, how'd he know I was going to like that? Like, that's basically because he liked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of makes you feel on some type of mystical way that you're like connected to that person, even though you don't, know them at all.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So he grew up in Perth, loving music. His parents divorced when he was real young, like 3, something like that. He, did the whole, grow up, you're a teenager, you're rebellious and you're smoking weed and you're shoplifting shit and you don't want to go to school and all you want to do is make music, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He drops out of whatever university he was in. I think it was the University of Phoenix, but I can't confirm that because he just wants to play music. He's like, I don't give a fuck about this. Like,
right.
What am I learning? I don't know what he was studying. Let's call it chemistry. What do I need chemistry for?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. He just had exams. I just know he had those.
He's like, fuck exams.
He definitely was like, fuck exams. He's like, I don't want to take this test because I might be getting a call. Like, that's some serious shit.
True. I might be getting signed during this test and I need to be available.
Yeah.
So.
Like, because it's like, I don't want to start taking the test for 3 hours or how many ever hours it is long. And then just like... have other things to do that are better. You might as well just not engage with the test at all.
I've got guitars to shred. Papers and guitars to shred.